Question: what types of gifts do you like to give and receive? Are they handmade gifts? Are they store-bought gifts? Are they flowers? I'll be honest, I love getting flowers, but I hate the fact that they eventually wilt and die. So I'd have to say my favorite type of gift is a gift I could pick up a few years later and be like, hey, this person gave me this for Valentine's or Christmas, or you know what I mean? Something that actually stands there and you remember, because my memory's not that good. I probably don't remember more than half the time I got flowers from my husband because I threw them away after they died. Unless, of course, I dried them and like made art out of it. So with all that in mind, I came up with 5 different gifts you can make your mom or your special someone that won't wilt and die on her and will last her for years to come. If you're new to my channel, by the way, my name is Lily, and if you aren't subscribed and you love my DIYs, don't forget to subscribe. Turn on that little notification button so you don't miss out on any fresh DIYs. Okay, I think that's it. Let's get started.
For our first gift, we'll be making some sun catchers from dried flowers. These could be given as gifts or actually used as decor. For this project, I tried drying my flowers in a book 3 weeks in advance, and I wasn't a big fan of the results. I knew if I needed to squeeze them between 2 pieces of glass in a frame and didn't want them to move around, they'd have to be pretty paper thin. The purple flower is the quick method I'll be showing you, and the pink one was dried in a book for 3 weeks. As you can see, it's not very paper thin. I also noticed how much color was lost after drying in a book. The daisy on the left was dried in a book and was white before it dried up, and the flower on the right was dried with my quick method. Okay then, let's do this. To dry your flowers, you'll need 2 fire bricks that are flat and 2 pieces of some sort of cotton fabric. Stay away from polyester fabrics as they may melt in the microwave. You'll also need a microwave and some fresh flowers. I ripped mine from our front yard. Believe it or not, weeds actually look pretty cute too. To begin, lay your fabric onto one of your fire bricks, then lay out your flowers. Following that, add your other piece of fabric and top it off with the other brick. Your flowers should be sandwiched between the 2 pieces of fabric and bricks. Whatever you do, don't squish down onto your flowers. Once it's in the microwave, the water starts evaporating from the flowers and it flattens out on its own. I tried squishing it beforehand and ruined my flowers. I usually let the bigger flowers microwave from about 1 to 3 minutes. If you're doing white flowers, keep it in the microwave for about a minute and then pulse heat them for about 15 seconds, as they turn brown pretty quick. I found it worked faster to microwave the flowers for about a minute. They should be pretty flat at this point. Then remove the top brick, leave the fabric, and give them another 30 seconds in the microwave. This dries them out pretty quick. For some reason, with the brick on top the whole 3 minutes, it keeps bringing the water back into the flowers. Once my collection of dry flowers was complete, I used some dollar store frames to display them. I purchased 2 same-size frames since I needed 2 pieces of glass. Following that, I arranged my flowers on the glass and added the other piece of glass. To seal it off, I used some hot glue and left something heavy on top while drying. If you want your flowers to move between the glass, you can put some lighter on top. I didn't want any movement and eventually learned that putting bricks on the glass while drying works best. Careful though not to crack the glass. To display them on the window, I pulled out the metal rivets in the back and added some double-sided cushion tape. You can hang these on your windows or your walls. They look beautiful both ways. And that's it. For our second gift, we'll be making a pressed flower candle. This one is pretty easy to make. I tried a few different methods before I settled on one. You'll also need some dry flowers, just like in the previous project. Okay, so I tried using the heated spoon method first, where you heat up the spoon against a flame and rub the flower into the candle with the hot spoon. It worked, but took forever. So I took an old brush that I didn't need, lit up a candle that was white to match the white candle I was applying the flowers to, and used the melted wax and brush to pretty much glue the flowers on. If I got a bit of wax built up on the brush, I melted it and brushed away. Worked like a charm. This method was a lot quicker and I was done in no time. And that's it for this one. our third gift, we'll be making some Mother's Day string art. To begin, you'll need some wood and your printed letters. I'll add a link down below so you can print yours. I also used some recycled wood, which worked great. Before adding your nails, make sure your letters are centered. I used some tape to keep it in place while adding my nails. Okay, so you can either use longer nails or nail them in all the way through until they stop at a hard surface. If you're doing this, make sure and do this outside on some concrete. You don't want to ruin your floors. Or you can use shorter nails and nail them in, making sure they're approximately sticking out about the same. I used the smaller nails. This method is a lot easier, plus you don't have anything sharp sticking out on the back side. You don't have to measure the distance between each nail. I did mine about 1/2 inch apart on the letters and about 1 inch apart on the edges of my sign. Once you've completed your letters, simply rip off the paper and start threading all your nails. I usually start by outlining whichever shape I want to stand out, then I fill in the rest. This keeps the confusion at bay. When filling in your string art, make it as messy as possible. I know this sounds crazy, but trust me, it's better that way. You won't have bunches of yarn in one spot and it'll look pretty even at the end. I usually do a pretty messy job, and once it looks about complete, I squint my eyes to see if there's any gaps that stand out more than my letters. And sometimes I'll even go all the way across the sign if I have to break up that bald spot. Once I'm done filling everything in, I go around and outline my letters and edges once more. This gives it a cleaner look. And that's all there is to it. For our fourth gift, we'll be making a framed flower. I purchased these 2 frames at the dollar store. You'll be needing 2 pieces of glass like before. Since there was writing on these, I carefully used a razor blade to remove it. I tried a few different ways to remove the glass, thinking it was glued with hot glue, but it wasn't hot glue, so heating up the glue didn't work. Then I tried cutting the glass out, and that was becoming a bit dangerous, so I finally broke the frame off the glass and it worked like a charm. I only did this to one picture frame. Following that, I taped off and spray painted the other frame white. I then removed a flower from my plant. To dry it, I used 2 fire bricks and 2 pieces of cotton fabric. I dried it in the microwave for about a minute, then removed the top brick and gave the flower another 30 seconds, checking every 10 seconds. White flowers tend to brown quicker than colored flowers, so be careful. Originally, I planned to microwave my flower with the root, but that didn't work because the dirt wouldn't flatten out enough and the flower kept getting ripples while drying. So, I removed my dirt and dried the flower alone. Following that, I displayed my flower in my picture frame and added a pinch of dirt to the bottom of the flower to make it look like there were roots. Then, I added the other glass on top and secured it with hot glue. I lay a brick on top to make sure it gave it a tight fit after drying. And that's it! For our last gift, we'll be making personalized printed hand towels. To print your pattern, you'll need some leaves, your choice of acrylic paint, fabric medium, some paper, and a foam brush. To make your fabric paint, you'll need to mix 1 part paint to 2 parts fabric medium. This will make the paint adhere to your fabric easily and have a softer finish. Following that, use your foam brush to apply a coat of paint onto a leaf. Then, press your leaf painted side down onto your hand towel. Use a paper and your hand to press in the paint. Once you feel like you've pressed over the whole leaf, remove your paper and leaf and you should have a print. My first towel was pretty messy because I wanted to try every leaf. This is a pretty fun process, especially watching what pattern each leaf makes. Okay, to personalize your towels, we'll be making fabric paper. You need some cotton fabric without stretch, freezer paper, an iron, scissors, a home printer, and a sewing machine. To begin, start by cutting out your fabric and freezer paper to an 8x10 size or your printer paper size. Then attach the freezer paper to your fabric's shiny side facing towards your fabric. Give it a few strokes with your iron, that should do the job. Make sure your edges are really well secured to your fabric. This is super important so it doesn't jam in your printer. Once you see the freezer paper bubble up a bit, that means it's attached to your fabric. Keep in mind, the freezer paper won't stick if you've over-ironed it. To add your message, simply add this fabric paper to your printer and print your personalized message. Following that, I cut my message out and folded in all the edges. Then I gave it a straight stitch to attach it to my towel, and that's it!
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this inspired you to create and make some cool little gifts for your mom or your special someone. If you've liked this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you have any other ideas for gifts you'd make for your mom, don't forget to comment them down below so other people that watch this video can get inspired to create. I think that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out to comment and follow me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.